Hmm. Oh, I think it's working. Hmm. Oh, I think it's working. Yep. Yeah, it's working. Okay, okay. Oh my goodness. Um, hello, hello. Hello everyone. This is a Fox Hunter. Yeah. Um, this is the main event. I decided to use OBS instead of Streamline. I used Streamline yesterday to broadcast for the first time, and I decided to try OBS. And in the last couple of seconds there, I couldn't get the broadcast running for some reason, but I got it working now. And yeah, you guys can see me. Uh, yeah, so welcome, welcome. This is the main event. We're gonna be doing some debunking of a video of Gonzalo Lira using AI, and that should be interesting. I think it should be fun, educational, maybe. I hope it's not boring because I am here to entertain and offer some knowledge that some of you might know, and some of you might not be aware of. So we'll give it a try. And let's see. So before we start, what I want to do is I want to go and read some of the comments that were left on my last on my last what you call it live stream, right? So I'm gonna go to the community here and I'm going to take this off and let's see. So the first comment I'm going to read is here at the top. One second, please. Okay. Uh, let's see. How can I? Okay, one second, please. Let me open another box over here so that I can, because yeah, it's too small. The letters are too small for me to read. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna open a second window so that I can read the comments, because yeah, the monitor that I'm using is too far away from my face. I cannot read it. So let me see. I'm going to, yeah. So the first comment that I'm going to read is the one from the top. Is the newest. Maybe I should read the oldest one first because first come first serve. Yeah, let's go for the one at the bottom. This one down here for Titan Omar Key 2217. And let's say it says Ukraine prior to 2014 may have shown some interest in joining NATO, although not much. Ukraine have wanted to join NATO mainly since the invasion started, not before. What triggered Russia starting hostilities in 2014 was the Euromaidan protest that led to the pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych being deposed. The Ukrainian leadership never even mentioned putting nuclear weapons on their soil. It's funny to me when people use these, they they broke the Minsk agreement, lie, because it hinges on the idea that Russia was desperately trying to keep Eastern European countries from joining NATO by starting hostilities against Ukraine, because in reality there wasn't any sign that Ukraine or any other neighboring countries to Russia were planning to on joining NATO anytime soon. And now Sweden and Finland have joined NATO, and Ukrainian citizens have shown overwhelming support for joining NATO as soon as they can. Great job, Russia. They play themselves. And yes, that is true, 100%. Everything that Mr. Titan or Omarkey 2217 is saying is true. I mean, it was never about NATO joining Ukraine what triggered the invasion. It was Russia. Putin himself said it on that interview with Tucker Carlson that they believe, or at least Putin believes, that Ukraine has always belonged to Russia, which is bullshit because Ukraine is actually even older than Russia. Ukraine was already a form of a country before Moscow even became a city. I don't have the video where I saw that information, but I am pretty sure 100% that that is a fact. But hey, it's been already, what, 3 years? And all of those conspiracy theories, they're as good as toilet paper. They're not, nobody in their mind will believe or think that that is a reasonable opinion, that it was the threat of NATO expansion. No, not at all. NATO is not is not an entity that goes and grabs countries on their against their will. No, it's like a freaking gym membership with even harder um, uh, uh, certain parameters to meet. I mean, yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Is the audio? Oh shit. Hello. Yes, it's working. There is three of us now. So, are you guys listening? Shoot. I don't see the audio working on my on my window. Let me see. Hold on. Can you guys? Let me see. Okay, I can do it myself. Let me get this here. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Uh, I want to see if well, I did listen to I did hear myself speaking. Do it myself. Yeah, I can hear myself. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah. For some reason, I cannot see the the meter on my audio. Is not moving. So I'm like, wait, did it cut off or something? But yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. The Yeah, I can see the chat right here. There's three of you now. Yeah, thank you. We can hear just fine. Thank you. Yeah, I think thanks for the feedback. I think Lyra is turning in his grave when when hears that someone is still dismantling his lies and rotten legacy. This is good. Yes, yeah. I mean, well, he was turning to ashes, so he's turning to yeah. He will be twisting on his grave, but yeah, he's ashes now. So yeah, his legacy didn't last it. That's another thing that a lot of people still, a lot of their followers, a lot of Concilio Lira true followers that they're against reason. They live in their own reality. A lot of them, they believe that people see him in a favorite way, and that is not the case. When you Google his name, he doesn't appear anymore. People have moved on, and there are still some people that are still trying to, grab a hold of his made up persona. But we're gonna be working on that today. Well, that is the reason for this stream right here. I want to start using AI to dismantle his fake persona. Now, before I move on, hold on. So let me finish reading the. Let's see. Let me finish reading the. Let's see. Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, I want to finish reading the comment that was left up on top. 1 second, please. Hold on. Okay, let's go for this one. No, let's go for this one. Yes. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Hold on. Yeah, I apologize with this OBS. I'm brand new using it, but okay, okay. So I'm gonna read the next comment that was left on my stream. Let's see. Um, for debunk. Uh, yeah, he left a comment saying, "Unfortunately, many will always only look for things that already fit their benefits." Yeah, yes, that's true. They simply forget the real facts. Thanks again for the good video. Oh, thank you for leaving a comment. Unfortunately, there are still a lot of people who believe Gonzalo Lira's BS and use his downfall to somehow justify Russian crimes. Although Mad at the Internet was a good video, but some things were indeed wrong. Yes, yes, my good sir. Yeah, that it is true that a lot of people and I don't know if these guys down here are real, but let me show you one of the comments, some of the comments that I, for example, down here, look, this Fort Trapper 11 down here, this guy right here, look at that. He says, I think Gonzalo probably bullied him in grade school. Well, he probably was thinking on saying bullied him in grade school. And I left a response saying, what school and in what country? Because Gonzalo's family moved back and forth from US to Chile constantly. Gonzalo didn't have a normal childhood. He was constantly the new kid in school, which is why he became a sociopath and could not get along with others. So please tell us what school and what country, because that is the case. That yes, that is the case. Gonzalo Lira, his family was constantly moving back and forward. He didn't have a normal childhood like the rest of us. Well, not all of us. My family did move a couple of times, but I guarantee you, I had a more normal life than Gonzalo Lira did. I only moved like probably when I was a kid. I probably moved only like 4 or 5 different schools from from little kid to 15 years old, which is the age that I came to America. So yeah, it's for somebody constantly changing high school schools every year or every 2 years. That is hard. That is harmful to the development, because imagine yourself, you're constantly moving to a place where you're building, you have to build new friends and all that stuff. Yeah, it must have been tough, and I believe that's why he became such a untrusted sociopath of a person. Oh wait, somebody left. The chat says some guy who was going to smuggle him out said he didn't want to leave his motorcycle in Ukraine. Yeah, yes, that is a video that I uploaded. Let me see. Let me show you which video I'm talking about. Hold on one second. Content. Uh, yeah, down here, you can see right here in this video, the Gonzalo Lira, aka Coach Red Pill, final attempt to escape from Ukraine to Russia. Yeah, on that video, I show the person who tried to smuggle him to Russia. That and I believe that. I haven't seen anybody else said anything about that, so I don't know exactly, uh, if it's 100% truth or not. So, but yeah, I do believe it. I do believe that uh, that Gonzalo was going to get assistance to go to Russia, but he, according to that fellow over there, he didn't want to leave his motorcycle behind. And yeah, I believe that was the case, because Gonzalo Lira didn't want to cooperate with people. He wanted to do things his way. And when people told him, hey, this will not work, he will just get all angry and just throw everything away. So yeah. Um, well, it's he was a difficult person. He claims that he was always his boss, and that is proof that the guy was just difficult to work with. Uh, Man, I feel sorry for anybody. Uh, yeah, we're gonna go more into Gonzalo Lira's backstory. Just let me read this. When did this start? Oh, we started at 3 p.m. I wanted to start in the middle of the day. Yeah, kind of like in the middle of the day, so more people will be able to watch us on the east side of the country. Right now, probably it's like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., something like that. So it's a good time right now to start streaming. Let's say, what does the next chat says? He moved around a lot, and his father was a banker. Yeah, he's you know what? This is a good way to transition to our main event, which is gonna be we're gonna be using AI to debunk uh, some of the stuff that Matt at the internet had grown on his stream that he performed. So let's go to this to the let's go to the to the what you call it. Yeah, let's see. Hold on. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. I am going to look for the stream so we can do it in real time. And yeah, because I want to get started with this thing. Yeah, right here. I found it. Hold on 1 second.
3 steps before they say
Yeah,
it.
there it goes.
So it's just no
pause, and I'm gonna bring it over here so that we all can watch it. Let's see. Gonna do big. Let's say so he started somewhere around this time, 5 6 times, something like that. Let's see. Hold on.
A Russian war song.
Yeah, there it goes.
Surely that's not foreshadowing. So just as a quick rundown, in case you've never seen these before, I go chronological. There's no fancy narrative plot to this.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna speed it up a little bit because this is a long stream. This is 3 hours long, and the section that I'm going to be debunking, it's a good hour at least. So we're gonna try to go a little bit faster than the speed that he has right now. So let me see. So we're gonna take it from speed at normal. We're gonna put it at 1.5. Let's see how that works. Okay.
I go from what I know about them as early as possible to the last thing notable about them.
And of course, it's midnight. It's Sweden.
Let's just get into it.
Well, thank you for joining us, Mr.
Born in
thank you very much.
California to two Chilean immigrants in, I believe it was 1968. He's old. He was 50 plus when he died.
Okay. So let's get this out of the way really fast. As you guys can see right there on the screen, Matt at the internet used a picture of one of Gonzalo Lira's newspaper's interviews, right? Which is great. He knows that these records are online. That is good. But that's as far as we go when it comes to good news of him knowing that these records exist, because unfortunately, and understandable, because these records are in Spanish, a lot of people don't have access to read them, to do research on him, right? But I'm gonna use an AI tool to show you guys how to do your own research and decipher all these records that are in Spanish. So hold on 1 second. So let's keep watching, and then I'll show you how to do it. Okay.
Burbank is, I believe, the smack dab between San Francisco and Los Angeles.
Oh my God! You guys heard what he just said right there? Man at the internet, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, man! You're better than this. Come on. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me see.
I believe it was 19 1968. He's old.
Yes.
He was 50 plus when he died.
Okay. Yeah.
Burbank is, I believe, the smack dab between San Francisco and Los Angeles.
That is incorrect, my good sir. Incorrect. That's when I started losing, patience. And to tell you the truth, he, like I said, the first half of his broadcast was okay. The second half, the first half was terrible. The second half was much better. But what are you talking about? Burbank is right in the middle of San Francisco and Los Angeles. Let me tell you guys, I live in a city called Rancho Cucamonga. I'm 40 miles east from both Los Angeles and Burbank. I can drive there and get there with no traffic in half an hour. And just to prove you right there, let me show you. Let me see. Hold on. Will I be able to? Okay, where is? Let's see. Right there. Map of California. Come on. It's not working. Map of California. Come on. Okay. Hold on. Right there. You see Los Angeles right there. Los Angeles, California, right there. San Francisco is all the way up here, up north. You can see it right there, San Francisco. Los Angeles is down here. Burbank is somewhere down up here. Let me see if I can find it right there. Let's see. Burbank is basically right next to Hollywood. Burbank is the place where a lot of TV shows are currently made. Let's see. This is where I live right here in Rancho Cucamonga. Beautiful place. I love my California. This is my home, and I hopefully I will die here. I don't want to die in a war-torn country like Gonzalo Lira did. Look, right here is Burbank, California. My God, why are you going to say that Burbank is right in the middle of Los Angeles and San Francisco? That's when I started losing my shit when I saw this. I'm like, come on, sir, you're better than this. If you don't know where Burbank is at, Google it. It's not that hard. Come on. Okay. So, but that's it. Let me see. Okay. Let me read the chat. What is the chat saying? Yes, it's me. That what is the motivation to be in a foreign country at war and do propaganda videos for the opposition? Easy to estimate the outcome. Yes, my good sir. That is true. It makes no sense. But the guy was like one of the comments, Mr. Unexpected person. Personative. Now, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. He left a comment on one of my on my video saying that yes, Gonzalo Lira was crazy for doing what he did. So yeah, definitely. It makes no sense. Why he couldn't live in a beautiful place like Burbank, California, and instead move to Ukraine, which is still a beautiful country, but not in the middle of the war? Come on. Okay. So let's see. Okay, let's keep going. What else it says? There's another chat. Let's say, what's very funny is every other other reporter running around Ukraine didn't get captured, but CRP reporting about the war in his own apartment, his captures. Well, that's because Gonzalo Lira broke the law of promoting Russian propaganda, which under martial law, through democratic process, was approved to be a law. And many people, not just Gonzalo Lira, but a bunch of Ukrainian people who were Russian sympathizers, they were arrested. Those who didn't have a previous criminal record like Gonzalo Lira, they were sent under house arrest. People who already had criminal records, they were sent to prison. Now, Gonzalo Lira was given a warning, but because he's such a genius, he's such a wisdom of a man with so much experience, he didn't bother hiring a lawyer to find out what were the why was he released and what law did he broke. No, he just thought, hey, I am American, my country is America's paying for this war, I have the right to talk whatever I say, even if it breaks your martial law laws. That makes no sense, but okay. Oh my God. There are rumors that he had a terminal illness, maybe AIDS or something, wanted to die. He had a heart condition. That is true. He had a heart condition. That is, according to him, that was the reason why he stopped drinking, which was good. But then he started smoking, which is like, dude, you want to stay alive, but you want to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day? That makes no sense. Any news on Lira's senior CRP's dad? As far as I remember, I heard that he was trying to hire a human rights lawyer, but that is going to be a top challenge for any lawyer because, common sense dictates that he should have got, Gonzalo Lira should have got the hell out of Ukraine. There is no way Gonzalo Lira Sr. will be able to hire a human rights lawyer to fight Gonzalo's case. There's no way. And but like I say, I heard that. I haven't actually seen official reports of what Gonzalo Lira Sr. is doing. He should have moved to another country close to Ukraine and reported the Ukrainian war. It would have been safer there. Yes, I agree 100%. He could have gone to Budapest or he could have gone to Hungary, which are two countries that are friendly with Russia. But the reason why he wanted to stay, one of a few reasons besides him being crazy, is that he had credibility by staying in Ukraine. Even if he was lying, people will say, well, he's there. He knows what he's talking about, which wasn't the case. All that Gonzalo Lira was doing was reading RT News reportings that favor Russia and then rebroadcasting. He wasn't speaking out of self-experience. And I have in a couple of videos where I point that out, that there was a video where he claimed that Joe Biden wanted to assassinate Zelensky so that Zelensky will become a martyr and then United States will take over Ukraine as part of the war, but we can all see that all of that was fake. All of that was false. And yet we still have people who claim that he was speaking the truth. Makes no sense, but those are the times that we're currently living. Hold on one second. I want to center myself a little bit because I think I'm a little too off focus. There it goes. Yeah, this is better, I think. Okay. So let's go to the debunking. Hold on. So let's keep going. We already stated that Matt at the Internet had his first misinformation right there by saying that Burbank was in the middle of San Francisco and Los Angeles, and that's not the case. I'm 40 miles away from Burbank. I'm 40 miles away from Los Angeles. I'm telling you, I'm probably like 300 miles away from San Francisco. We're nowhere close to San Francisco where I live right now. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's see.
But he actually went back to Chile to study at a bilingual private school. So I believe he's from a rich upbringing. He moved to the United States, or his family did, from South America before he was born. He was born in the United States. Traveled back to Chile to receive a premium education at a economic rate, basically.
Yes, but what he has grown in that particular segment right there is that Gonzalo moved, but not to Chile necessarily. His father was constantly traveling from one place to another. He moved to multiple places. And you know what? It's time. let's bring AI to help us unravel the mysteries of these newspaper clippings. Okay, so let me show you really fast how to get to those newspaper clippings. They are in the what you call it. They are in the records of the. Let's see. Let me see if I can get it right here. Hold on. Stephen King. I should have them somewhere. Hold on one second. Let me move this over here so that I don't open one of my private websites. For those of you who might be interested to know, I'm into Japanese corn. So yeah, I don't want to open a page with a Japanese girl, doing very crazy stuff, and get myself banned from YouTube on my first stream. So let me find this particular. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I think I can get there through my history. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can find it if I go look through here. No, it's not gonna. I'm not gonna be able to find it here. So let me in that case, let me do this. Hold on one second. I'm sorry about that. I thought I had a link there. Let me see. So Lira. There it goes. Okay. We're back. Control C. And down here. So check this out. That picture right there is from the Biblioteca Nacional de Chile, the National Library of Chile, right there, right? So what you do is you can just Gonzalo Lira. You type his name and you're gonna get a record that shows all his newspaper interviews, all of these paper interviews right there. So Mara the internet. Let me see where is he? That's not it. Maybe I should close that one. Yeah, there it goes. So you can see right there, it's basically the same. If we go over here and we click on this link right here, it will show you that's the same paperclip that Mara the internet is using right there, right? So what you want to do is you want to download this file as a PDS, PDF. Yes, a PDF file, right? So like when you visualize it, let me close this window over here. You can download it. Let's see. Down here, you can download it as a PDF right there. I already downloaded this file right here. I put it down here in this. Let me see. Come on, open. There it goes. No. So I already downloaded this file. All of the files with Gonzalo Lira from this website, I downloaded them already as PDFs, right? So what you do next is you do this. Let me bring this down. Now, hold on one second. I shouldn't have done that, but okay. There it goes. Okay. So up here, this is easy. What you do is you go to your Google account, and you can scroll down here where it says Notebook LM. Now, I don't have the technical definition of what Notebook LM is, but basically what this is okay, so see, your data is protected and is not used to train Notebook LM without your permission to ensure safety and reliability, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we keep us updated. Okay, So this is what you do. You create a new notebook, right? And now next, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring all those files that you already had. Let's see, over here. So let me see. So you have all these files of downloaded PDFs, which are basically the newspapers interviews that Gonzalo Lira did in between 1996 and 2003 in Chile, right? So you copy, you just drag them all down here on Notebook LM. I'm also gonna upload this one over here. Let me see. Hold on. This one down here. I'm also gonna upload these ones. Hold on. I need to do something really quick, which is add more sources and repeat the process. There it goes. You download it right here. So basically what we just did is we created a data file. Notebook LM translates all the newspapers from Spanish to English. So now we have a timeline. Now we have all the data that those newspapers have on their files. And now what I'm going to do, instead of reading everything myself, let's see, hold on. I am going to use AI voice to read all the newspapers, everything that we discover. Okay. Now I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna try to use. Hold on one second. A Japanese, no, not Japanese, a female voice because, yeah, we text to speech. Hold on one second. Let me find a good female voice. Let me see. How is this one?
OMG, guys, just finished customizing my streaming.
I don't think that's that's the. Okay, I don't think. Let me explore. Hold on. Something. Oh, how is this one down here?
Hello, everyone. Let's create wonderful.
No. That's too much. Let's try this one. Hold on.
Okay, you guys literally need to see this new foundation.
How is that one? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Where is Tiffany Dover? I don't know. She's living her life. She doesn't want to be disturbed. Okay, so we're gonna use that one. Let's see. Hold on. Where am I? Yeah, down here. Okay, so I'm going to use this voice down here. Let's see.
Brush I found, it's so incredibly soft.
Yeah, hold on. How is this one? Taylor Swift.
I want you all to know that.
Okay, let's use Taylor Swift's voice. I mean, she's a professional singer. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't mind listening to her voice. So now, check this out. What I'm going to do is down here is I'm going to request a timeline of Gonzalo Lira's life. It's just a quick experiment. Let's see. Write a timeline of Gonzalo's life. And so basically what Notebook LM is going to do is it's going to go through all the process, it's going to go through all the PDFs and produce a timeline of Gonzalo Lira's life down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it into the voice of Taylor Swift so she can read us Gonzalo Lira's life.
Based on the sources, the following timeline outlines the life and career of Chilean writer Gonzalo Lira. Early life and education. 1968, Gonzalo Lira is born in California, United States. Early childhood, he lives the first 6 years of his life in the U.S. before his family moves. Due to his father's job as a commercial engineer, he grows up traveling between different countries, including Chile and Ecuador. Primary school, 3rd grade. At approximately age 7, he writes his first story for a school assignment. an invented tale about vacations, and realizes he enjoys writing. High school. He attends St. George College in Santiago, Chile. In his senior year, fourth medio, he begins a small business writing English assignments for classmates. Late 1980s. He attempts to study commercial engineering, first at Universidad Adolfo Ibáñez and then at Universidad de Chile, but is expelled from both due to poor grades. In October, after reading The World According to Garp, he decides to pursue writing professionally. Early career and emigration, 1995. At age 22, he finishes his first novel, Toma Arasude, written in an experimental phonetic style reflecting the Chilean Cuco dialect. 1991, het schrijven Paptuan Nina manuscripting huts to Fernandes. He attempts to publish the manuscript in Chile, but it is rejected by every publishing house he approaches. Frustrated by the lack of opportunities in Chile, he emigrates to the United States. He enrolls at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire, where he studies history and philosophy. Pre-graduation, he wins first prize in a university scriptwriting competition with 2 anonymous entries. Breakthrough and success, 1996-1998. After graduating with honors, he moves to Los Angeles to break into the film industry. He works a low-paying temporary job at the Disney Corporation archiving documents. January 21st, 1996. While at his computer, he conceives the idea for the thriller Counterparts. January-August 1996. He writes Counterparts while working his day job and skipping lunch breaks to write. September-October 1996. After being fired from Disney, he finds a literary agent, Teresa Park, and signs a $1 million contract with Putnam for 2 books in English. August 1997. Following his international success, Grijalbo publishes his previously rejected first novel, Tama Arazuri, in Chile. January 1998. Counterparts. Translated in some regions as Contrapartes or Cara a Cara. International career and return to Chile, 1999. Slira moves from Los Angeles to New York City. To support himself in the expensive city, he writes scripts for video games, including the title Soldier of Fortune. 2001. Feeling a sense of emptiness in New York, he takes a sabbatical and drives a truck alone to Alaska to disconnect and reassess his life. 2002. He decides to return to Chile permanently to be near his family. His second English novel, Acrobat, is published by St. Martin's Press, and the film rights are sold to Sidney Pollack. 2003. Now settled in Santiago, he works on Chilean film projects and writes a third novel concerning a tax investigator and generational value shifts. Lira's career is often described as the American dream in action. He transitioned from a dead-end job archiving documents at Disney to becoming the highest-paid Chilean writer of his time through sheer persistence and a $1 million contract.
So as you can see right there, basically what Notebook LM does is it reads all the newspapers and pretty much reads the PDFs and translates them from Spanish to English, and in that way you can find out anything that you want to know about Gonzalo Lira. You can ask anything you want. Now, this is something important. The Notebook LM will only tell you the information that you put in Notebook LM. It will not tell you what is factual and what is not. That is the thing about Notebook LM. It has no bias. It's AI, which is great because for fellows like Mara the Internet who don't speak Spanish, now you can translate everything that you want. See, that's the beauty of AI. So now, as I already showed you, you can feed the computer everything, all these paperworks, and they will read you everything, right? It will take all the information that you feed them, and then will give you any answer that you have, right? So what I already did is I did other 2 notebooks on my account. One of them is the newspaper clips plus other information that we have about Gonzalo Lira, which includes the investigation on his death. The records were released through a Freedom of Information Act application that a right-wing publication requested, and we got him. I downloaded some of them and also converted them into PDF. Let me show you right here. Let me see. This one right here. Up here, as you can see on my files, these pages right here, they are the results of the Freedom of Information Act. I converted those files into PDF and I fed them to this notebook right here, so I can get all the information, a little bit more detailed information on Gonzalo Lira's life, besides all the newspapers that I show, right? Let's see, hold on. Let me clear this up. And I also created a notebook where I fed only Gonzalo Lira videos from his Coach Red Pill, CRP Coach Red videos. I was not able to upload all of YouTube, all of his YouTube videos. I only uploaded around 300 of them in his page RPC. Where's it? CRP archives. He has over 400 videos. I only uploaded around 300 because I got tired of it. And you can do that too. Let me show you really fast. You can upload a video. Let me show you really fast. Hold on one second. Yeah, let's go over here. CRP archives. There you go. Okay, so let me show you really fast. You see,
and our whole society is.
You see right here, all his videos. You can upload them to Notebook LM. I already uploaded most of the top ones from bottom to from top to bottom. So I'm gonna try uploading one that I have not uploaded. Right. So let me see. So hold on. I gotta go really down in order to get something that I haven't fit to the Notebook LM that I already have. I just want to show you guys how to do it. Let's see. Anger. I think I haven't done this one. Let me see. Hold on. So this one right here.
Anger is.
Pause it. Now what you do is you click share. You copy this to the notebook right there, and what you do is you paste the link for the Gonzalo Lira video and you insert it, and it's gonna feed it into the list of sources that we want to use. All of these are Gonzalo Lira videos. Some of them I was not able to upload because for some reason the algorithm couldn't read the transcripts of the video. So what I did is I just copied the transcript and pasted it as text. So, but yeah, all of these are Gonzalo Lira videos as a CRP, his CRP persona, right? So I'm gonna delete all the chat history right there. Okay, so now let's go back to Mara the internet and debunk all the things that he got wrong. Okay, so let's see.
Basically, and then from his graduation, he was a English teacher, which is not what I expected when I looked into him. He was basically just one of those guys that like a traditional expat job. He traveled around Latin America and taught English privately and I believe in schools.
That is wrong right there. That is wrong. Gonzalo Lira did work as a school teacher, but he didn't travel around the world. Let me show you right here. Let's ask AI in how many schools did Gonzalo teach English? And let's see, hold on. And right here, we'll get the answer. Copy this. Let's feed it to our voice generator.
Gonzalo Lira taught English at one specifically named institution during his time in Chile. The details regarding his teaching career include institution name. The sources refer to the school as the San Marsali Institute. Variations of the name appear in other sources as San Marsali and Cam Marsalis. Location. The institute was located in Santiago at the intersection of Los Leones and Yanez. Context. Lira began teaching English because he was fluent in the language and found it easy to do after being expelled from two Chilean universities, Adolfo Ibáñez and the University of Chile. Career shift. He worked as a teacher while writing his first novel, Tomaje Razorate. He eventually decided to move to the United States to study at Dartmouth College when he realized there was little room for further advancement as an English teacher. Teaching English served as a financial bridge for Lira, much like a temporary harbor where he could rest and refuel his ambitions before setting sail for his career in the United States.
So as you can see, Mr. Mara, the internet got that wrong. Gonzalo Lira was not traveling or teaching English. No, he only taught English in one specific school. And you can still find pictures of that school. I believe that school still works. Let's see, an English teacher at 22. Yes. He failed university twice and ended up getting a job as an English teacher. Okay, so let's keep going.
However, he had bigger dreams. He wanted to be an author, and eventually he wanted to be famous in Los Angeles. So what he did is he went back to school at Dartmouth, and he published a book that I'm going to struggle to pronounce. It's called Toma Arazura, which is on your screen, and that says the Chilean archetype. He actually was successful in Chile, and that's kind of the recurring theme in his legitimate works that is kind of depressing about him, because he had like a genuine love affair with his, what I'm going to call his home country. The Chile really appreciated that this Chilean American still had so much obvious respect for his country, and he continued to write in Spanish and represent Chilean Americans.
Nope. Wrong. Completely wrong. Okay, let's check AI. What they have to. What is the truth about Gonzalo Lira's affair with Chile? So what was his point? That Chile loved Gonzalo Lira, that he was famous and successful. Let me write right here. How was the relationship between Gonzalo Lira and the Chilean writing circles, literature circles. I got a misspelling. Hold on 1 second. Those are my dogs. If you guys can hear in the background, those are my dogs being naughty. But at least they're not bothering here. So, okay. So let's see. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So let's copy this baby down here, put it on the voice, and let's see what it says.
The relationship between Gonzalo Lira and the Chilean literary and intellectual circles was defined by mutual animosity, deep-seated resentment, and a profound sense of exclusion. Lira frequently characterized the Chilean literary scene as a closed circle where members only helped one another and published works based on personal connections rather than merit. Key aspects of this antagonistic relationship include mutual disdain and hated status. Lira was described as the most hated guy among his peers in the Chilean audiovisual and creative world. This animosity was mutual. Lira publicly referred to the global intellectual class as a troop of imbeciles and claimed to have no respect for them after reading Solzhenitsyn's The Gulag Archipelago. The prohibition of success. Lira believed that in Chile there was an unwritten law that prohibited success, and that being highlighted or successful was treated as a blight, lacra. He felt that the Chilean circles could not forgive those who managed to separate themselves from the carriage of mediocrity. Early rejection versus U.S. fame. His first novel, Tome Arazuri, was rejected by every Chilean publisher when he finished it in 19. It was only after he signed $1 million contract in the United States for counterparts that Chilean houses, such as Grijalbo, became interested in publishing his earlier work. He attributed the initial rejections to his lack of contacts rather than the quality of his writing. Rejection of literary lineage. Lira deliberately distanced himself from the traditional fathers of Chilean literature. For example, he stated that while he was part of Chilean literature, José Donoso was not his pater familias, and he claimed to belong to no group at all. Criticism of state funding. Lira was highly critical of his peers who sought state cultural funds, calling the practice a shame and immoral. He believed money should be spent on libraries and cultural education for the poor rather than funding filmmakers or writers from wealthy neighborhoods to make boring movies about poverty. Lira's position was that of a solitary outsider, the Cuico upper-class person who used a baseball cap and spoke with a strange accent, consciously aware that he did not fit into the established Chilean cultural framework. To Lira, the Chilean literary scene was like a fortress with locked gates, and rather than continuing to knock, he chose to build his own tower in the United States and then look back at the fortress with open contempt.
Yep. So as you can see, Mr. Matt at the internet here, I don't know where he got off saying that Gonzalo was loved and admired in Chile. That was not the case at all. People hated Gonzalo even back then. Nobody liked Gonzalo Lira because he was a difficult person to work with. He was, he was entitled. He was a bragger. He liked to brag about his success and all that stuff, and he looked people beneath him. That's the reason why nobody liked Gonzalo Lira. And yeah, unfortunately, I believe that's a result of him not having a normal childhood, not being raised on a single place where he could have friends, where he could adjust his personality. No, he was the new kid every time, and because he took on reading, he will spend a lot of time reading, and he will believe that he was smarter than other people, than other kids, and he got bullied a lot because of that, because the guy was just a sociopath. He couldn't relate to people. That is the truth. And well, if you don't believe me, as I just show you, you guys can use your own notebook LM, copy and paste all the PDFs files up there, and you can ask anything about Gonzalo's past according to his interviews. Of course, to have a better understanding of who he was, you need some more information. But I already have all those files, so let's keep going and see and debunk a couple of more things.
And Chileans in the United States, and they liked him, and they liked his books,
Nope.
and they liked his other works. But he, of course, had bigger sights than being popular in Chile. So he wrote this book when he was 22, but he published it in 1997 when he was in his later 20s. And his success of this book led to him writing a spy novel called Counterparts, and it was published in New York by G.P. Putnam and Sons. And then they actually gave him an advance of $1 million in 1990 money.
Okay, so now we keep hearing this thing about Gonzalo receiving $1 million. That is false. That is a lie. What Gonzalo Lira did is he got this idea of creating a marketing campaign where he claimed that he was receiving $1 million from Putnam for his first book, which was a lie. He received an investment for 2 novels, but it wasn't for $1 million. Now, how do I know this? Let me show you really fast over here at the Gonzalo Lira archives, the Gonzalo Lira Biblioteca of Chile. There is this one right here. This is the article where he refused to admit that he was paid $1 million. Let me show you really fast. So notebook LM. Okay, I'm gonna ask based on the article number, Control B. Did Gonzalo receive $1 million. Oops. My bad. Hold on 1 second, please. I apologize for that. Let's see. One. Did he receive $1 million? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. So basically, that's what you can do. Hold on. Okay. Copy and paste, and let's read.
Article RC0109-186 confirms that Gonzalo Lira became known by the moniker Escritor del Millón de Dólares, the $1 million writer, due to his literary success. According to this specific article, the publisher Putnam paid Lira $1 million as an advance for a contract involving 2 books. The first of these novels, titled Counterparts, was released in while Article RC0109-186 focuses on the total contract value, other sources in the records provide additional context regarding the actual payment. Prowment structure. The $1 million figure was an advance on royalties, a sum paid to him before the books were even published. Actual amount received. One source notes that as of early 1997, Lira had only physically received 1/4 of the money, US $250,000, though he was also negotiating high-value translation rights in several other countries. Monetary comparison. Lira himself noted that a typical advance for an unknown author in the U.S. at that time was between $5,000 and $15,000, making his contract an extraordinary anomaly in the publishing world. Receiving such a large advance was like a professional athlete signing a massive signing bonus. It was a guaranteed payment based on the publisher's high expectations for his future performance in the bestseller markets.
So, as you can hear, Gonzalo Lira was promised $1 million, but he wasn't given $1 million. He was given the opportunity of work as a writer, and at one point acquiring $1 million from the publishers. But he didn't do that. He didn't get to that because he only wrote 2 books. And as you can see right there, it says that in 1997, according to Lira, the average writer will receive between $5,000 and $15,000. And that's what I believe he got. I believe he got an advancement of $15,000. And with that advancement, he continued writing. He only wrote 2 books, but I don't believe he actually got $1 million. If you Google what is the average amount that a writer can make as a living in 1997, it will be like around $20,000 a year if you're only writing like a small stories for magazines or something like that. It is not a well-paid job, but Gonzalo Lira got away with this lie because Putnam couldn't admit that they paid him $1 million because according to their company policies, they are not allowed to to divulge the total amount of money that they pay their writers. I could write that as a question, but I don't want to hold on anymore. Let's keep going to the so he called himself the $1 million writer, but he was never paid $1 million. That is a fact that I just show you guys.
To publish a second book, which he did, and that was called Acrobat. And Acrobat did well enough that Miramax bought the rights to the fucking book. So this is Counterparts. It's like a CIA crime novel, and this was the sequel to it, Acrobat. Big, bold letters, Gonzalo Lira, just front and center. You can't miss it. Our boy Coach did write this book.
Now, here's one thing. Gonzalo Lira, he claimed that his book was purchased for rights to be adapted into a movie. But I don't believe that what he said, because I done some research, and the people that he claims purchased his books, they were involved in other movies at the time, other bigger projects. So it makes no sense to me why a movie director and a movie writer were actually involved in other movies at the time that he claims, that Gonzalo Lira claims, they purchased his book. The book rights for his, for the movie rights for his book, Acrobat. No, let's see. Yeah, no. So I'm not gonna go too much into this, but I believe that that's another lie. So let's keep going.
And again, it was so successful that I don't even think you need to translate this. This is from a Chilean newspaper, again paying respects to him, saying, El hombre del millón de dólares, the $1 million man. The Chilean newspapers wrote about Coach and called him the $1 million man because Harvey Weinstein's Miramax bought the rights to Acrobat.
Now, here's another inaccuracy that Matt at the internet made. If you see right here, up here, you can see the date down here, up here. You see it. 10/12/1996. That was October 12, 1996. Acrobat came out on 2003. 2003, 2002. Yeah, 2002 is where he claims that Miramax purchased the rights. But this makes no sense. Matt at the internet, what are you doing? You have right there the date. You're claiming that this newspaper was written as an admiration or as an article promoting Gonzalo Lira after his book Acrobat was signed up by Miramax. That is wrong. This newspaper, you can see right there the date, 1996. Miramax has nothing to do with this newspaper clip right here. This newspaper, El Hombre del Millón de Dólares, is the marketing campaign that Gonzalo did to promote his own book, which according to his publisher, they call it a Pulp Fiction style spy novel. What book company will pay $1 million for a Pulp Fiction novel? It is not seen. That type of money only comes after the fact when the book has become successful. And that is, so you don't see that often. So everything that Gonzalo Lira did right there was his first official con. His first official big time deceit, where he lied to the masses, calling himself the $1 million writer, when the fact is that he was promised that if he was successful, he could become $1 million writer. But with his first novel, no, they didn't pay him $1 million. As I already showed you, that the most that he got was probably $250,000. But yeah, that's what he did. And once he claimed that he was the $1 million writer, that's how they ended up publishing his first novel, which was officially rejected, as we already heard through the translation of the newspaper articles, right? So let's keep going. Let me check if nobody has commented anything on the chat. No, we're still good. Okay.
Because Harvey Weinstein's Miramax bought the rights to Acrobat. So he not only got $1 million advance from putting them to write these two books, I assume he got royalties from them, and also Harvey Weinstein bought the fucking rights to publish a movie to him. And the supposed director, I think is listed in this article. I did not write this down. Sidney Pollack and Anthony Minghella.
Sidney Pollack and Anthony Minghella, at the time of that writing right there, they were involved in two movies. They were finishing the production of Cold Mountain, I think is the name. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let's research that really fast. Hold on. Go. Let's see. Cold Mountain. Cold Mountain. Yeah, right there. So at the time where Gonzalo Lira claims that he was paid, that the rights of his books were purchased by Miramax, the directors, Sidney Pollack, and the producer, Mangliano, let's see, right there. So The director was Anthony Manghella. That's where's it? Anthony Manghella and Sidney Pollack. He claims that those guys paid him $650,000 for the book rights of his novels. But at the time, Sidney Pollack and Anthony Manghella, they were involved in Cold Mountain. They were finishing the production of Cold Mountain. And as far as I understand, not that many directors and producers just stop working on a movie to go and sign up a book for a deal. I don't think that's how it works. And after Cold Mountain, they were Anthony Manghella and Sidney Pollack went to their next project, which was a movie with Nicole Kidman and Sean Penn, I believe, called The Interpreter. That movie came like 3 years later, but it doesn't make sense. Why are they going to purchase the book rights for Acrobat when there is absolutely no signs anywhere else that the production actually went ahead and were involved into it? No. And another misfortune is that both Anthony Manghella and Sidney Pollack, they're since passed away. So there's no way to go and ask them if it's true that they were interested on the book by Gonzalo Lira. There's no way to verify that. So yeah, I think that was another lie by Gonzalo Lira to make himself more famous than he was already, than he claimed he was. So yeah, no, that's another thing that I could debunk. But let's move on in the meantime.
Names I actually recognize. So it was actually looking like he had a chance of accomplishing what he had set out to do. He was going to become a screenwriter, possibly even a director, and he actually traveled because he had made this money, and he was el hombre de millón de dólares. He traveled back to Chile and actually wrote and shot, or not shot, but directed, Sequestro, which means kidnapping in Chile. And basically the plot is that this Chilean millionaire daughter is kidnapped, which is the exact same plot of another thing that I'll mention way down the road. And this did well. In this archive,
Nope.
The first film of a Chilean cinematographer, Sequestro, landed second place in the box office. So his home country film, Sequestro, did well enough in Chile.
Nope. That's another thing that you got wrong, Mr. Mara, the internet. Let's ask, did Gonzalo's movie Sequestro did well? Maybe I should ask, okay, let's ask this question. Let's see. Hold on a second. Did I do well? Okay, hold on. Yeah, let's one of the reasons why I didn't want to debunk Mr. Mara, the internet's article, was another thing that I didn't want to do, which was just telling you guys what was wrong about his points, but without actual proof that I was right. And thanks to this Notebook LM AI tool, we can actually ask questions and find out if it's true or not. So let's read what the AI says.
Gonzalo Lira's 2005 film Sequestro did not do well commercially or critically, though Lira himself disputed the failure label by claiming it was produced for the international market. The film's performance can be broken down into several categories. Box office performance, week opening. In its debut weekend, Sequestro drew 11,727 viewers, despite being released with a record-breaking 40 copies for the Chilean market. For comparison, the film Mi Mejor Enemigo drew nearly 15,000 viewers with only 28 copies in the same period. Poor overall numbers. After 2 weeks in theaters, the film had only reached approximately 26,000 viewers. Media outlets characterized the debut as a failure within a week of its release. Marketing blame. Lira acknowledged the bad results at the box office, but attributed them to a failure of his marketing agency BBDO rather than the film itself. However, representatives from the communications agency noted that the film had the highest television exposure of any Chilean film at the time. Critical reception, lack of empathy. Critics generally found the film technically brilliant and sophisticated, but cold and empty of life. A primary criticism was that the characters were impossible to empathize with, particularly the protagonist, a heartless businessman whom Lira admitted was based on everything he hated. Campy labeling. Later retrospective sources described the movie as a campy action film and categorized Lira's time in cinema as a failure. Mixed technical reviews. While the film was praised for its incessant rhythm, precision, and excellent music, it was ultimately viewed as a failed attempt to create a Chilean Nine Queens. Lira's defense. Lira maintained that the film was not a failure because he had financed it with private capital, Lorraine Vial specifically, with the international market in mind. He expressed a deep disdain for the Chilean film industry, calling his peers parasites who lived off state grants, and argued that if the film went to the hole, it would only result in a few wealthy investors becoming slightly less rich. Ultimately, Sequestro was like a high-performance engine with no driver. It possessed the technical specifications of a Hollywood thriller, but failed to connect with the audience's emotions, leaving it stalled at the box office.
So, as you guys can see right there, Mr. Mad at the Internet had that wrong too. The Gonzalo Lira's movie was a failure. For what I understand, Gonzalo Lira spent almost $1 million to make that movie, and that movie didn't even make his money back. I wanted to make a chapter on the story of Gonzalo Lira by talking about his time trying to transform the Chilean movie industry into a Hollywood, but in Chile, and they nicknamed it Chilewood. So I wanted to make a video telling that story because there are some very interesting stories that you can read on one of his. For example, right here, let me show you right here. Let's see. Let's go back. Let me show you this newspaper. In this newspaper down here, yeah. In this newspaper right here, there is an interesting story. Gonzalo Lira wanted to become buddies with the best Chilean movie directors, and he failed. Let's ask Notebook LM to tell us the story of. Let's see what happened. What happened when Gonzalo tried to. Hold on, sorry about that. What happened? Yeah, I'm sorry. Try to become friends with other Chilean movie directors. What happened at the party Gonzalo wanted to do? Okay, hold on. So let me fix this. Okay, wanted, yeah, and that's okay. This is an interesting story. Check it out. Let me. Okay. This should be. This is a story that I wanted to tell, but I couldn't because I never got around making that video. So let me see. Hold on. So listen to this.
Gonzalo Lira's attempts to integrate into the Chilean filmmaking community were unsuccessful, resulting in mutual hostility rather than friendship. Regarding his social life and parties, the sources describe a pattern of exclusion and self-imposed isolation. Relationship with Chilean movie directors. Gonzalo Lira did not become friends with his peers in the Chilean film industry. Instead, he became the most hated guy in the Chilean audiovisual world. The specific details of this failed relationship include Ron's status as an outsider. His peers viewed him as an outsider, el aparecido, and a cuico, upper-class person, who spoke with a strange accent and did not fit the cultural mold. Vocal contempt. Lira openly criticized Chilean directors, claiming they know nothing about cinema and have seen nothing, with the sole exception of Nicolás López, whom Lira still claimed to dislike. Criticism of parasitism. Lira viewed Chilean filmmakers as detestable parasites who lived off state grants to make movies about poverty while living in wealthy neighborhoods. He even characterized a villainous, money-hungry character in his film Sequestro as a representation of how he viewed Chilean cineastes. Intellectual disdain. He referred to the global intellectual class, which his peers identified with, as a troop of imbeciles. What happened regarding parties, the sources do not describe a specific party that Lira wanted to host, but they highlight several instances where his relationship with parties reflected his social standing. Exclusion at Dartmouth. Following a university suspension, Lira noted that his name never quite made it to the party blitz lists, and that his peers actively avoided him on the street. Isolation during success. While writing his breakthrough novel Counterparts in Los Angeles, Lira was so focused on his work that he went to only one party over a 10-month period. He intentionally avoided the party scene of aspiring stars in Los Angeles because he lacked money and did not want to become a drunken or...
Okay. So something right there. Oh yeah, that's something that you find on Notebook LM. Sometimes it will not read the newspaper in detail. It will give you a generalization, right? But let me see. Hold on one second. What's the number? This one right here. Let's see. Okay. Let me go to Gonzalo. Down here is what? According to file number is did Gonzalo try to invite it? Gonzalo invited directors to a party. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, so this is the people didn't like Gonzalo Lira. Everything that he said, all the stories that he made were lies. He wasn't popular. He was hated. Did not include file number nor contain any records. Called Gonzalo Lira. Cool parties. Who's your very friends being. Yeah, maybe I got the file wrong. Hold on one second. Hold on. Visualize that. Let's go back to. Okay, so maybe it's somewhere else. Escritor de $1,000,000. No. Let's see. There is a newspaper where there is a story of him trying to throw a party for the Chilean directors, and they just didn't go to the party. He wanted to. According to the newspaper, he even made orange chicken, or seasoned on where's it? In orange, like Chinese orange chicken. And only out of 12 directors that he invited, only 3 showed up. They ditched him. They didn't want to interact with him. So I will have to look for the newspaper, but I'm pretty sure there's it. Let me just ask one more time if he invited. Did Gonzalo ever threw a party for movie directors in Chile? If it doesn't show up, we're just gonna move on, because that is a story that I wanted to tell. Let's see what it says. Lira was known mostly. Following details illustrate why such event was unlikely. Content to peers. I'm gonna have to look for that newspaper where I read that story. And let's see, yeah, but according to the newspapers, this guy was not popular. He just didn't like to hang around with people. So okay, let's move on. Let's see. Has anybody? Okay. Wonder if anybody's still watching. There hasn't been anybody.
That he was actually second place when his movie debuted in the Chilean cinemas. So they actually liked his movie and they liked his books.
Nope.
So it seems like he had a place to stay in his home country, in Santiago, but he decided not to do that. And by the way, I had never seen this picture before. This is Coach on the set of Sequestro. I believe that this was shot by one of his producers who relinquished the rights to this photo into the public domain when later events happened that made him a little bit more famous than a Chilean filmographer. But I like this picture of him a lot. It's like this is Coach in his prime. It literally doesn't get any better than this. Sequestro was a 2005 film, and after that, I scoured the internet to try and figure out what happened next. And I would like to show you the results of my findings. This is literally hours of work. 2005, Sequestro was screened in Chile. And in 2010, Gonzalo Lira publishes an econoblog on the internet on Blogspot. Between these 2 points, I have no fucking idea what he is doing. It's a complete mystery to me what he's actually up to. So,
yeah, 2005 to 2010. There is a good period of time that it's hard to find any information about Gonzalo Lira. Yeah. The thing is that I believe that Gonzalo Lira was what he was doing. I believe that he was committing fraud. He created some companies that were defrauding people in real time. And I believe that once he will commit the fraud, he will take down any existing record of those companies. Why do I say that? Yeah, because there are some interviews that he did with other internet personalities at the time, and he was promoting some type of program to help people move from the West to Eastern Europe, and as a sexpat or something like that, traveling to Eastern Europe and abandon the West. So between this period of time, 2005 and 2010, I believe he was involved in some fraud operations, and that's why you cannot find any information between 2005 and 2010. There are actually some videos of him talking to other bloggers, promoting his business, the business that he was doing at the time. And in those occasions, you can hear him just talking shit about the West and about United States. That's where you can actually find his first RT News interviews, his first interviews with Russian Today media. Yeah, that is something that you're not gonna find, because I believe he pretty much erased that period of history of what he was doing between 2005 and 2010. So, okay, let's keep going.
So, here's my thoughts. Here's my speculation. Gonzalo is at his peak at this point. He has just debuted a film in Chile, which came in second place at the box office when it was released. He had also had 2 successful books published by Putnam and Sons in New York City, and the rights were bought by Miramax in LA for creating a movie which never came about. Which is, I think it's a fairly common thing that they buy the rights to stuff and then it just never materializes. I think that's pretty common. But I think during this period, he was really trying to make it big in LA still, and he might have had some personal problems, which he alludes to in his videos. My speculation, which is baseless, but I'm kind of just filling in the gap between point A and point B here, is that he really tried to make it big either in publishing or in screenwriting, and it just didn't happen. And he might have had a sex pest incident. I will explain. This is his blog. This is just Gonza. When you see his name written as a URL, it's like the hardest fucking thing to pronounce in the entire world. Gonzalo Lira at Blogspot. This blog is now completely fucking eradicated. And you have a list of all his articles. Almost all of them are bizarrely centered around economy. Now, economy is like completely outside of his realm. He did like spy thrillers, and he did books about coming of age. He wrote a movie about like an action schlock thing with a thriller, and it's like none of that is economy. But for some reason, after he made his money, he fancied himself an economist. And I think he may have even had, when he graduated in Chile, he might have had a background in finance because of.
Yeah, okay. So this is something that I have to specify. Gonzalo Lira comes from a family of bankers and lawyers. His father, Gonzalo Sr., was an economist that worked for several think tanks in America. So the guy knew about money. He knew about money. I think I have a link to his website. Let me see. Hold on. No, I don't have the link to his website, but there is a website where people are paying tribute to Gonzalo Lira Sr. because he was the chairman of where's it? Yeah, where's it? Financing institution or something like that. So I believe that Gonzalo Lira he learned how to invest his money because his family was pretty much half of them were economists. Now, for example, let's ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT book notebook LM. What is the his the history of Gonzalo's education in economics? Are any of his family members economist? Let me fix the history. Gonzalo's, yeah. Let's go. There you go. Let's copy paste and see what it says.
Gonzalo Lira's formal education in economics was marked by repeated failure and expulsion before he shifted his focus to the humanities. Despite this, his family has a background in the field, and he later rebranded himself as an economic expert. Education in economics. Lira's attempt at a formal education in economics, referred to in Chile as Ingeniería Comercial or commercial engineering, was unsuccessful. Expulsions from Chilean universities. Following his graduation from St. George's College, Lira enrolled in Ingeniería Comercial at two different institutions, Adolfo Ibáñez University and the University of Chile. Academic failure. He was expelled from both universities. He attributed these failures to being very lazy and noted that he spent more time playing pool than studying. One source mentions he lasted only a single semester in the program because he realized the field was not for him. Shift to humanities. After his failures in Chile, Lira moved to the United States to study at Dartmouth College, where he abandoned economics to focus on history and philosophy, eventually graduating with honors in later rebranding. Around 2010, Lira re-emerged in the public sphere as an economic expert and blogger. Critics and publications like Salon pointed out that he began contributing to financial sites like Business Insider and Zero Hedge, despite having no formal economic background or financial education. Family background in economics. Lira's brief pursuit of economics was largely an attempt to follow a family tradition. Family profession. Lira stated that his family lineage was comprised of lawyers and economists. Father's background. His father is specifically identified as a commercial engineer, ingeniero comercial. Lira noted that he initially enrolled in the same major to please his family, before his academic struggles led him elsewhere. Lira's relationship with economics was like trying to wear a suit that belonged to his father. He attempted to fit into the professional mold of his family, but his personal interests and academic performance eventually forced him to change outfits entirely for a career in writing and cinema.
Yeah, so as you can see, Gonzalo Lira, I believe he got some training through his family on how to invest his money. And he became like, a professional con man that will steal money from his victims to later you invest that money and live out of the profits, out of the the dividends that he was receiving from that money that he was investing. He was a piece of shit. He was a con man, true and true. And the worst part is that he was money savvy. He knew how to invest his money. But as you can see, the way his life went, he died with all that money in the bank. He was never able to enjoy his money because he died a bitter old sick man. That which is a it goes to show you that money is not the answer to everything in life. Gonzalo Lira was a vain person who cared more about material possessions and not enriching his emotional holes, the pieces of humanity that he needed to fulfill because he couldn't get along with other people, which is kind of tragic, but at the same time, we can learn from the mistakes of that guy. Money is not everything in life, and that guy lost his life with all and left all that money in the bank. So what was the point, right? So yeah, let's keep moving on this matter of the
Story I'll
internet.
play later. But it was definitely not something that he had focused on in several years. So he kind of pandered to the zero hedge, the sky is falling, hyperinflation coming yesterday type crowd. And he also shilled, and you can't see it here. It only shows up in some of the archives. Oh, is that it? Oh yeah. Are you prepared? And then there's a black swan. Ooh, spooky. What kind of black swan events coming up? Only Gonzalo Lira Strategic Planning Group can prepare you for this. And he was trying to launch at this time in early 2013. And a little bit before then, 2012, he was trying to launch his own strategic planning, like estate management group. That went absolutely nowhere. Outside of this single-page website linked to from his blog that was mostly econo stuff, I can find nothing about his strategic planning group. So this kind of fizzled. I think he launched the site. He's like, yeah, he tried to convince some people to give him money. Like whatever happened in Hollywood led to him like trying to just shake down people. Like, hey, let me manage your IRA for you, and they're like, no, go away. So then he went to Zero Hedge, tried to publish some economic blogs, and it didn't work out. He did manage to get, I think in part because of his background in writing, he managed to get some of what he wrote published in Business Insider, but they actually have since yanked all of his articles. He wrote this about Paul Krugman, saying, it's not the differences in policy prescriptions that I object to, it's Krugman's cavalier belief that a war, a total full-on war, with its attendant fiscal spending, is what saved the American economy during the Great Depression. It's Krugman's disturbing, I mean it is, by the way, like literally it was total war. I don't want to spur too much, but I have my personal theory is that we've actually never left total war. Our entire economy is dependent on being a military superpower. Anyways, whatever. I don't think that's controversial. He says it's Krugman's disturbing nihilistic inference, which he makes over and over, tucked away in his articles, but always there like a nasty aftertaste of a drink laced with a roofie. So maybe a total war might not be such a bad idea now as to get us out of this new global depression. That is what I object to in Paul Krugman. He seems to be offering up another war as the only way to fix the economy. The thing is that that's not what Krugman said, and he ate a lot of shit for this, and that's why Business Insider never took another article from him. And they later pulled down all the articles that he had published. So his idea of being the next mortgage guy predicting the next black swan event never materialized, and he kind of had nothing to do for years. I mean, at this point, if you count 2005 onwards, at 2013, he's approaching a decade of not progressing in life. And when you're 30 plus, I think even at that time he'd be like what, 40? Like you're burning your 30s into your 40s. You don't have any kids. Your filmmaking career is not going anywhere. You're not publishing any books, and the articles that you're writing about economy are causing issues for your publications, and they're not going anywhere. That's scary. So he tried to find a new audience not involved in finance, and he hopped over again to trying to give advice. So this is his Reddit account for the Coach Red Pill moniker, which is the name that everybody knows and loves him as. He tried giving advice to women. He tried giving some political thoughts about Kathy Griffin's performance art, which is this is actually in 2017. So he was doing this a while before he started going into Reddit. But this is an example of the kind of advice he got that was received well. This is in our Red Pill, which is now a quarantine subreddit. But he says, do you suffer from depression, social anxiety, or mental health issues keeping you back from your full potential? Then keep those problems to yourself unless you want people to think that you're a beta, cuck, loser, herb bottom. I don't even know what the fucking herb bottom is, but you don't want to be one of those, according to Coach Red Pill. And then other elderly people agree. Heed these words, older guy here. I have anxiety and depression stemming from my childhood. I will never tell anyone. Nobody cares. This is true. See, the thing about Coach Red Pill is that so in the weeks I've been planning this, I listened to the entire library, the entire catalog of every Coach Red Pill video I could find that weren't like his live streams that I'll get into in a bit. Coach Red Pill, his videos are very bad. Actually, you know what? I can explain this after I play a Coach Red Pill video because I have that one lined up. This is his quintessential video, the most famous.
Okay.
Video that he's ever made until certain events happen in this timeline. And I think I'll just play it for you.
Okay, so before we go into this is something that I wanted to do but I didn't know how to approach it. As I already showed you guys, I created two notebook LMs, right? One with a big chunk of CRP's videos, okay? And I have another one with everything that doesn't have to do with his CRP persona. As Coach Red Pill, I left him completely outside of this of this notebook LM, and I have another notebook LM where this one where is only CRP. So now I'm going to ask the same question in both notebooks and check the where's it and check the response. Let me just clear this up right here. Delete the chat history. Yes, okay. So now I'm going to ask this question. What was Gonzalo's love life? Yeah. What was Gonzalo's love life? Okay, so let's ask that question to the Gonzalo Lira no CRP only notebook. Okay. Okay, let's see. Cool. So let's copy paste this answer, and here Taylor Swift's voice narrating.
Gonzalo Lira's love life was marked by a controversial university period, a self-described bad dating life during his peak as an author, and a volatile marriage in Ukraine that ended in divorce and allegations of abuse. Early life and university years. During his time at Dartmouth College in the early 1990s, Lira's social and romantic prospects were severely impacted by a suspension for sexual assault and harassment. While he was found innocent of harassment, he was found guilty of assault for making unsolicited advances toward a classmate. Lira later claimed that he generally ended relationships well with his ex-girlfriends, though he admitted that one broke his heart. He also described a woman he met at Dartmouth with whom he had much in common, but who eventually studiously avoided him on the street once she learned of his disciplinary history. Bachelorhood in Los Angeles and New York. In 1996, at age 28, Lira was a single man living in Los Angeles after receiving a $1 million book contract. Despite his professional success, he described his love life as very bad in 1997, stating he was single and without commitment. He claimed he was too busy working to pursue girls and preferred to spend his limited free time watching television with friends. By his mid-30s, Lira's perspective shifted toward wanting a family. He noted that while former classmates envied his life in New York, where he reportedly dated models, he actually envied their stable domestic lives and enduring human relationships. Marriage and divorce in Ukraine. Lira moved to Ukraine in 2020 and married a Ukrainian woman with whom he had 2 children. However, the marriage was highly unstable. Infidelity allegations. During a 2022 court proceeding, his wife alleged that in 2018 she received a message from an unknown woman claiming to have been in a relationship with Lira for a year. Abuse allegations. His wife accused him of aggressive behavior and instability that led to moral and physical violence against her and their children. Divorce. His wife filed for divorce in March 20. A Ukrainian court officially dissolved the marriage on December 23. By mid-2023, he was described in court documents as being in the process of divorce, suggesting ongoing legal disputes. Later career as Coach Red Pill. Starting around 2017, Lira reinvented himself as Coach Red Pill, an online relationship guru for the manosphere. In this role, he sold digital seminars and offered dating advice that critics characterized as misogynistic or piggish, involving claims such as women over 30 are ruined and that women only truly desire money. Some critics labeled his eventual move to Ukraine as that of a sex tourist.
Yes. So, as you can see, the history of his love life, he leaves a lot to be desired, right? According to him, he was single and very lonely. So now let's ask the same question to the Coach Red Pill only, notebook, and let's see what we get. Yeah, let's see. Hold on one second. Analyzing, reviewing past relationships, categorizing. Gonzalo's love life was a journey characterized by highs and lows. Um, more detail. Okay. Give me a detailed timeline of Gonzalo's relate. Hmm. Yeah, I should have asked this question on the other one instead of love life. But as you can see on the other one, uh, you can see that there's not much there to talk about, right? Mhm. Okay, there it goes. So Gonzalo's love life in as CRP.
According to the sources, Gonzalo Lira's love life was a journey that transitioned from youthful, involuntary celibacy and major social regrets to a prolific era of dating models in Manhattan, eventually resulting in a late life marriage and family. Early life and regrets: 1981, age 13th birthday, he had his first sexual experience with a 14-year-old classmate named Elizabeth. During his senior year of high school, he spent a year pining for a girl named Macarena, but was too chicken shit to ever speak to her. This remained a permanent regret that he claimed sings his soul decades later. 1986, age 18. While attending business school in South America, he discovered he could attract women by making them laugh. He became so focused on getting girls that he flunked out of the university after the first semester.
So see, remember what we heard about his time in university? He claimed that he failed university because he was playing pool all the time and was just too lazy. And according to his Coach Red Pill videos, that is not the case. According to his time in university, he was on business school. He learned, according to him, he learned how to be funny and engage with women, right? So you can see right there, you start seeing how everything that he's saying was not true or was not congruent to his actual history.
Ages 19-20, he dated a starter girlfriend for 6 or 7 months while working as an English teacher. College and early career: 1991, age 23. Upon arriving at Dartmouth, he met a girl named A during orientation. They made out in her dorm, but he declined sex because he found her sticky and clingy. When he began dating other women, she accused him of sexual assault and harassment, leading to a 9-month suspension from the college. 1994-1995, senior year, he dated B, a brilliant woman who later earned a top-tier PhD. They were highly compatible but broke up because she wanted a corporate/academic life while he wanted to go to Hollywood to be a writer.
So you hear that right there? He claims that while he was finishing his senior year in Dartmouth, that he was dating a woman he called B. When in reality, we heard already that Gonzalo Lira's life in Dartmouth was as a loner. Let's see. Let's go over here. For example, right here, love life in Dartmouth. Really fast, right there. Hopefully, let's see. Gonzalo's love life in social standing at Dartmouth College was defined by a high-profile disciplinary case and the result social ostracism. Accusations of suspension during his freshman year fall in the early 1990s. Lira was accused of sexual assault and harassment by a female classmate. A university committee of standards, COS, found him innocent of harassment but guilty of assault for making unsolicited advances. Consequently, he was suspended for 3 years, 3 terms, which caused him to miss his entire freshman year. Following the return to campus, Lyra described his life as extremely lonely. Nothing that noting that his romantic and social prospects were shaded by the suspension. He detailed several impacts on his personal life. Social blacklisting. He was excluded from party blitz list, campus invitations list, and his phone remained mostly idle for long periods. A spread of rumors. He claimed that fairly ugly rumors were spread about him, causing many students, particularly those who professing compassion for social causes, to avoid him actively. Failed connection. Lyra recounted a specific instance involving a woman he met in a tube room. He discovered they had much in common and had a good time hanging out several times. However, once she learned of his suspension, she ceased all contacts. He later witnessed her studiously avoiding him on the street, crossing the road to stay away and looking furtively to ensure he hadn't spotted her. Heartbreak and friendship. Despite the general atmosphere of rejection, Lyra claimed that that typically ended relationships with ex-girlfriends in good terms, though he confessed that one woman broke his heart. While he had many known associations, he identified only two women from Dartmouth years, whom he considered true friends rather than romantic interest. He ultimately described his education at Dartmouth as a lesson in hypocrisy, observing that his peers will support distant humanitarian causes, but run away from someone in their own community who had been disciplined. So you can see right there the comparison. As CRP, he claims that he had a girlfriend in his senior year in Dartmouth that he called B, a brilliant woman who later earned top-tier PhD. They were highly compatible, but broke up because she wanted to a corporate academic life, while he wanted to go to Hollywood to be a writer. So let's finish reading this really fast, and let's continue. Hold on one second.
Late 20s, circa 1995 to 1996, where he was a complete sexual failure and could not get a single girl. Or circa 1996-1997, age 28, $7 by a master gold digger in a transaction that did not even include sex. The Manhattan and bed hopping years, 1998-2005, living in a 2,400 square foot loft in lower Manhattan. He entered a peak period of bed hopping with models and high-end women. 1998, he slept with 7 different models in 7 consecutive days, including an actual Victoria's Secret model.
Right there. He claims that while he was in New York, Gonzalo Lyra was bed hopping, like sleeping with different women, even Victoria models. Even Victoria models. But let's just ask over here, what was Gonzalo's experience living in New York? So let's see, right there. Yeah. Let's hear Gonzalo Lyra's experience in New York. As Coach Redpill, he claims that he was bed hopping, like having sex with multiple women, some of them including Victorian models, right?
Gonzalo Lyra moved to New York to pursue the American dream after a period spent in Los Angeles. His experience in the city was defined by high-stakes professional work, a perception of social shallowness, and an eventual sense of existential emptiness. Professional work and finances. Lyra supported himself in New York by writing scripts for video games, most notably for the game Soldier of Fortune. He found this industry significantly more lucrative than the film industry, which allowed him to maintain himself in one of the world's most expensive cities. He claimed that it was impossible to live in New York as a single man on less than $5,000 a month, even while living in a shabby 45 square meter apartment. During this period, he also wrote his second major novel, Acrobat, and sold its film rights to Miramax. Lifestyle and social environment. Lira's residence was located in Manhattan, specifically 3 blocks from the Twin Towers. He observed that New York functioned as 2 distinct cities, one for tourists and one for residents, that rarely intersected. His social life included dating models, a lifestyle that he noted his former classmates from Dartmouth envied. However, Lira was highly critical of the city's social fabric, lack of community. He stated that he did not associate with other Chileans or Latinos, mentioning that the only Latina he knew was the woman who cleaned his apartment once a week. Transactional relationships. He described New York life as one where people viewed others as opportunities rather than as human beings. Overvalued culture. Despite having constant access to high culture such as the Met, MoMA, and Carnegie Hall, he eventually concluded that these experiences did not give his life meaning and were overrated. Existential void and departure. Over time, Lira began to feel a profound sense of isolation and vacuum in New York. He described his life there as merely buying things and collecting experiences like a child collecting trading cards, without any deeper connection. He famously used an analogy that living in New York was like driving on a dark highway and only realizing at dawn that he had nearly driven off a cliff. Because the city had lost its grace for him, he decided to leave Manhattan to take a year-long sabbatical, traveling by land from Texas to Alaska, before eventually returning to Chile in 2000. He ultimately sought to trade the freedom and anonymity of New York for the stable human relationships and family life he felt he had sacrificed for his career.
So this whole thing about him dating Victoria, yeah, where's the Victoria models? Yeah, models. It was all a lie that he told his friends from school, and later he will move on to tell the same lies to YouTube. And as you can see right here, where it says is that his friends claim that he slept with Victoria models, but there. This is the thing about Gonzalo Lira. You cannot find a single picture online of him with a woman, with any woman. How can you be a man who had multiple relationships with many women and yet don't show any receipts? No woman has ever taken a picture with Gonzalo Lira and claimed that she loved him or that he was the man she wanted to spend his life with, her life with. So that is something that still bugs my mind. How are you gonna take life lessons from somebody who was lying about his experiences? It's just it boggles my mind. I'm gonna be honest. Me myself, I went through a period where I wanted to learn how to date women. And what I did is I followed the guys at Real Social Dynamics, Owen Cook and all that stuff, those guys. And one thing that I will see, how those guys will go to clubs and make up with women and take pictures with them. And then eventually they got married and raised kids and all that stuff. Those guys, they were showing how they could connect with women. You never saw that in the Coach Red Pill videos. You never saw him with other women. You never saw him in action, flirting with women and attracting them or getting to hold them. How are you going to learn from people like that who are all talk and no show? That's something that boggles my mind. Like, for example, this guy right here, I don't know if, do I still have him? Yeah, right here. Look what he's saying.
Kind of led him to his own downfall and went a little crazy. He's a very intelligent man. He was a very intelligent man, intellectual man. He could speak fluently. He was very educated. He went to an Ivy League school. He was a successful novelist himself. He had wrote a few books. I didn't read any of them, but he does talk about the books he's read, wrote, and stuff like that. And he talks about a lot of good different subjects that will come up in a young man's life. Hold on. Guys like him, red pill guys, don't like they don't talk about real life lessons like CRP did. And a lot of these guys, they're younger than you, or they're a little bit older, like just a little bit older, and they claim to have all this fucking experience, and I know what to do, and do this, and do that, and it's like, bro, like, no you don't, shut the fuck up. You don't know, like, you're fucking younger than me, or you're just like 2 years older than me. I'm not gonna fucking listen to you about like fucking life lessons and all that type of shit. No, I'm not. And I'm certainly not going to listen to you about girls and different types of things like that. If you honestly want, I think that would be a good thing, I mean, to listen to if you're a young man. Listen to some of his videos about women, how to get women, how to...
So see, this guy right here, he contradicts himself. He claims that Gonzalo Lira had a lot of lessons that he could share with people, that he could teach people how to get women and all that stuff. But if you check on his videos, there are no moments where he actually approaches a woman, catches her interest, and ends up, I don't know, with his arm around her waist or stuff like that. No. So how is this guy gonna be saying that you shouldn't listen to younger men who claim to have experience with women, but he will listen to Gonzalo Lira, who wouldn't even show himself with other women? It's like that's the thing that this type of guys who follow Gonzalo Lira, they were putting their faith, they were believing Gonzalo Lira, but there were no proofs that Gonzalo Lira knew what he was talking about. And that was the reason, I believe, that he ended up nuking his channel, because he had a middle-age crisis where he just gave up and just erased his channel, because he thought, you know what, I'm getting divorced from my wife. What right do I have to be like, putting this stuff out there when I'm not sure? Fine. Somebody from chat yesterday said that he probably erased his chat because his videos, because he was he was angry that the YouTube didn't like red pill content. That could be true, but I personally believe that he had a middle-age crisis, and that's the reason. Yes, he talked a big game. Chat right there. Yes, sir. It's like, it's uncanny. If you're gonna hear somebody talk about getting women, then show people how you approach, like a hidden camera or something like that. And that's one of the things that I liked about RSD, Real Social Dynamics. Those guys at Day Game, and those were the videos that I was watching back in 2011, 2013. And they did help me. I was able to approach women, and I was able to, learn how to talk to them and see them as human beings and approach them. And, it worked out for me. I didn't know about Gonzalo Lira until the Ukrainian war. But I sure wouldn't have listened to his videos if he wasn't showing me footage of him actually approaching and working and showing other men how to talk to women. That's something I don't understand about guys like this, that they put all their faith on a man who had no receipts. He was all talk because that was the only good thing that he knew how to do, talk like an educated man. Well, he grew up in a wealthy family. They forced him to talk that way. They forced him to act in a certain way. And he spent his entire childhood reading books, which is a good thing, but he was constantly traveling from one place to another, never able to build relationships, long-lasting relationships with other young kids his own age. And that's what I think hurt him mentally. The guy eventually became broken in his mind and decided to stay in a war-torn country promoting Russian propaganda while the country was being invaded by Russia itself. Okay. Let's keep going to the to continue debunking. No, well, yeah, we're almost done because we just finished the part where I wanted to debunk most of the history that Mara the internet had grown. And as you can, I just show you how to use Notebook LM to translate all those articles, newspaper articles that Gonzalo Lira did in 1996 to 2003. So let's keep going.
It became a Patreon exclusive, but this was actually published to YouTube and got him in trouble. And that's how he kickstarted his Patreon. He said, oh, the videos that I can't post on YouTube because of the feminazis, you can get on Patreon. So that helped boost his numbers up.
Women are like dogs. They are exactly like dogs. And never forget that. I love women. I think that they're terrific. Men bore me. I think that men are just stupid, okay? Probably because, whenever I'm talking to most men, I know what they're thinking or what they're going to say, 3 steps before they say it, So it's just no fun to be talking to a guy. But a woman, Jesus Christ, I mean, she's just a complete surprise.
Listening to this now, something about that statement is really resonating with me because I clipped something right towards the stream starting. I thought that's a weird thing to say. And now I'm gonna circle back to it eventually.
And I'm not talking about sexually attractive women between the ages of 20 and 27. I'm talking any woman, a 3-year-old girl, some hot young thing, some older middle-aged woman, some elderly lady. They are all fascinating to me because they're all so surprising. The way that they think, their priorities. Guys, they're simple. Women, it's not that they're a mystery. It's that they're a constant surprise, as far as I'm concerned, right?
So as you notice, he rambles a lot. His issue is that the way that Coach Red Pill delivers videos is that he has no script, he rambles off the cuff, and he almost always talks about a personal anecdote which has almost no relevance to the actual video. This one is actually one of his more concise videos, I think in part because it does have a personal anecdote that I want to jump to. It's only 7 minutes. By the way, I think that this video is recorded around 2013, maybe 2014, 2015.
2013, 2014, once again, this is grown. Gonzalo Lira started his career as a YouTuber in 2017. If any of you guys watched the video that I did yesterday, the live stream, we can verify that the year he started making CRP videos was in 2017. After he abandoned his family in Ukraine, he moved to the UK. And this one right here, this is his apartment in the UK. You can tell when you watch his videos later on, the other office that he has, they are bigger. Why? Because in Ukraine, getting an apartment or a studio of that size is cheaper than getting a big studio apartment in the UK. In the UK, the best that he could do was get that small flat. And you have seen this flat in other videos that he has made where the restroom is like right behind the camera and the entrance for the bedroom and the exit for the apartment is on the left side. So yeah, this is Great Britain, 2017, not 2013 like Mr. Mara the internet is commenting. So yeah, I don't know why he made this type of mistakes. If he said that he's been watching all those videos of Gonzalo Lira, I gotta give him credit for that because I can't stand listening to any more Gonzalo Lira videos. I have deranged syndrome, Gonzalo Lira's deranged syndrome, where I cannot stand the sight or the voice of that guy anymore. I'm done with him. I didn't want to make any more Gonzalo Lira videos, but when I saw that people keep making videos of Gonzalo Lira, I had to jump in and debunk those videos because they're painting him in a wrong way. And I also wanted to debunk this video, which came out a year ago, but I never got around. And well, here we are today. So let's continue.
And I think that this is his office, and it's permanently his office in Kharkiv,
Nope.
Ukraine.
Nope.
Why he's in
That's the UK, my good sir.
Ukraine, I'll explain in just a second. But I do want to skip to, I think around this point right here.
How do you get that confidence with a dog? experience. You go out and you meet different dogs. You meet different dogs, and at first you're going to be afraid, and at first the dog is going to bite you, right? But eventually, with enough experience, with enough mileage, you get confident. You meet a new dog, no problem. See, there was this wild dog out where I used to live for a while, right? I lived out in the country for a while, late last year, and this wild dog was running around and just being a nuisance. But he was a big dog, so people were scared that he was going to bite somebody, and it was a fast dog, and it was, anyway, the point is, I wound up going up to that dog, and I have some experience with dogs, and I just yelled at the dog and said, stop barking. It stopped barking. It didn't know that I wanted it to stop barking. It just sensed that.
My God, what a stupid. Just listening to that load of bullshit. I have two dogs. They're down here, right below me. I know about dogs. They don't work that way. You don't just go to a dog and he will stay silent the moment you start screaming at them. No, it's the opposite direction. The more you scream at a dog, the more scared they get, the more excited, and they bark at you back. They become more hostile. What is this guy getting off saying that? Oh, there was this time I met this dog and he was barking. Everybody was scared, but I approached it and started yelling at the dog, and the dog didn't know what to do. And eventually he became friends and he became the dog guard dog. That's how you talk to women. Wow, my God. Sorry.
I was the guy in charge. See, the dog chilled out. Soon enough, we became fast friends. Soon after that, started hanging out at the house, and it de facto became the guard dog, right? Why is this? Why did this happen? And by the way, this is the trigger for this post, because I realized, I had enough experience with dogs to get the dog to chill out. And the same with women. When I was young, I was terrified of women. I shot bricks whenever I'd see a woman. When a pretty girl would look at me, I was like terrified.
Didn't we heard that supposedly he lost his virginity at 13? I mean, I think I still have that on over here, right? Did I have it? Let me see. Love Life. No, this is the Gonzalo. Oh no, the CRP over here. Yeah. So over here you can see what is it? Age 13. Let me see. Yeah, at age 13, Gonzalo Lira, he had his first sexual experience with a 14-year-old classmate named Elizabeth. Huh? How funny is it, huh? In one place, he claims that he was shy with women. And in another place, he's telling that he lost his virginity at 13 years old. A lot of bullshit with this guy. Okay.
Young, I was terrified of women. I shot bricks whenever I'd see a woman. When a pretty girl would look at me, I was like terrified, tongue-tied, or worse, I'd say just a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah, 13 years old, lost his virginity, supposedly, and now he's claiming that he was terrified of women? What the fuck?
And she'd look at me like, oh God, get away from me, you. That's what she used to say. But I got enough mileage in my system. And also I discovered that if you're funny, girls like it. See?
You have experienced a Coach Red Pill video. Bombastic premise, title, clickbait, an introduction, rambling, incoherent, a personal anecdote that seems to be completely made up.
Yes.
So it has very little relevance to the actual story. And then more rambling. That's every video. I have now listened to dozens of hours of this. I don't know. I just got a little bit more. I just got to listen a little bit more Coach Red Pill before the
I feel for this guy. I'm telling you, that's why I stopped making Gonzalo Lira videos, because I was tired of this guy. I'm like, thank goodness he's not around anymore, because my God, I couldn't have a vocation where I just debunk all the bullshit that he was saying. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
stream ends, and then it's over finally, and I never have to hear from him again.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty clever tactic. I'll say it like that. Pretty clever. You have that format, and this is the right time too, because this is around 2013. You have to remember what's happening during 2013. Gamergate. You got the feminazis. You got the culture war. You got the start of red pill stuff.
Once again, nope, this is not 2013. This video was made in 2017. After he left his family in Ukraine, he went to the UK and started his career as a YouTuber.
So it's the appropriate time to get in there and trigger all those feminazis and get all the clickbaits and shit circulating around on YouTube and get people donating to your Patreon. Exactly the right time to bust in. So he did quite well for himself. However, much like everything else that Coach Red Pill does, he did not have an original idea when starting this. He was heavily inspired by a guy called Roosh V. You may recognize this guy or this name because he led a very popular website called Return of the Kings, and then also the Roosh V forums, which is kind of like an incel-ish. It's hard, not necessarily incel, because incel came after. This was the origin of the manosphere. This was kind of the emergence of internet pickup artistry.
On this, I have to disagree, but I cannot 100% say that he is wrong because, for what I understand, it was another pickup artist. I believe his name was Rollo Tomasi. I believe Rollo Tomasi, who is considered the grandfather of the red pill community, I believe he's the one that influenced Gonzalo Lira. So I don't know exactly who this guy is. Darius Belisha. I cannot pronounce that name. I don't know how Mr. Matt at the internet came with the conclusion that this was the guy that influenced Gonzalo Lira. Now, I cannot verify. Uh, Maybe we can ask. Let's see. Who is Darius Balisaba? Hold on one second. Let me see if I can. I'm going to have to. No, over here. Yeah. Let me move this out for a moment. I'm going to ask who was Darius Balisari with an H. So let's see if there are any records of that name on the CRB channel because, like I say, I don't know who this guy is. I was under the impression that Rollo Tomasi was the one who influenced Gonzalo Lira into becoming a dating advice person. Okay, let me see. Let's hear this.
According to the sources, the individual commonly known as Rouge Fee is identified as a key figure in the neo-masculinity movement. While the name Dayush Valazadeh is not explicitly used in the provided transcripts as the identification comes from information outside of the sources detail his significant influence on the development of the manosphere. Key details regarding his life and influence include origins as a pickup artist. He began his career as a successful pickup artist before moving into more political and ideological territory. Founder of Return of Kings. In 2012, he launched the website Return of Kings, which initially focused on picking up girls, but transitioned into a platform discussing how to be a man in contemporary Western democracies. Founder of Neo-Masculinity. He is credited with coining the term neo-masculinity, which he defined as a system combining traditional beliefs, animal biology, and masculinity. Ideological goals. Through his writing, he sought to provide an antidote for Western degeneracy, immoral state authority, and mindless consumerism. He aimed to aid men living in Western nations that he believed lacked classical virtue, feminine females, and objective standards of beauty. Community impact. The sources describe his work as helping to form a community of brainiac men who look at social structures coldly and rationally to compensate for a lack of strong male role models during their upbringing. Analogously, his role in the manosphere was like a bridge builder who took a fringe community of nerdy kids, focused on social algorithms, and moved them toward a structured political worldview aimed at reclaiming traditional masculine roles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard about. As I mentioned, I don't watch too many of Coach Red Pill videos because I can't stand his voice. I can stand the guy. But yeah, I guess Mr. Matt at the internet was right on this comment. He Darius Valisha was an influence for Gonzalo Lira. Okay, I can see that. But I was under the impression it was Rol Tomasi. But oh well.
Of red pill philosophy when it came to women. How there's a game to be played with women, that the liberalization of the sexual marketplace is an inherently bad thing. Women should be caregivers and nothing else. That's right around this. And Roosh was the guy. The guy. Well, like, this guy knew how to troll people to get people talking about his sites and driving legitimate traffic to his site, and he made a fuck ton of money. You may also notice that he's an author. There's a book down here called Bang Poland, How to Pick Up Women in Poland. Bang Colombia, How to Pick Up Women in Colombia. And Bang Ukraine, How to Pick Up Women in Ukraine, circa 2012. And then so happens that Expat229, aka Coach Red Pill, joins the Roosh V forum in November 2013 and posts a couple interesting things. This is the most interesting. In my experience, demanding that a woman give you anal sex or any other sex that is distinctly and deliberately painful is kryptonite to women. Yeah. Once they take it painfully, they surrender completely. The old John Mellencamp tune is completely on the money. It hurts so good. Yeah. So it seems like he literally took this guy's advice and moved from the United States to Ukraine.
Yeah, so oh my God. Well, I can, yeah, I will say that, yeah, Mara, the internet might be correct on this. And I was previously under different, understanding. I thought it was Rolo Tomasi, the reason why Gonzalo Lira became a dating coach. But no, apparently it was that other guy. But it's good. I get to learn something new.
Then he begins his red pill enterprise of his own because imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. And since I have listened to his entire catalog, pretty much, I have picked out choice Coach Red Pill videos that we can watch together. This is probably in total, I would say maybe, let's see, I'll probably play about 20 minutes of stuff from.
Yeah, so the videos that he's gonna play, there are a couple of them that I already talked about. One of them is gonna be the one about dating model Victoria's Secret's models in New York, which is a lie. The guy was a loner in New York and eventually left because he couldn't form bonds with other people. But the thing about Gonzalo Lira is that he was like that everywhere. In Chile, people didn't like him. In America, well, you can see that at Dartmouth, he got suspended and ostracized by his peers. And then when he went to Chile back to make his movie, people hated him there too. The guy just couldn't connect. And in real life, I believe that he also couldn't build a larger audience if it wasn't for YouTube, where he could spill all his lies and have men believe what he was doing. Gullible men like this guy right here who believed that Gonzalo Lira was saying that was speaking the truth because he had he was able to talk fluently in an educated way. That was the reason why he believed him, when in fact he was believing a guy who was lying. He was a professional liar. That was the only thing that he was good at. And now, so I'm going to stop with the matter of the internet. I already show you guys everything that I believe that he got wrong from the beginning of the Gonzalo Lira's life. I show you how to use Notebook LM to do your own research about Gonzalo Lira, to find out stories about his life when he made those interviews on the newspapers. Let's see what else. But yeah, the last thing I want to show you guys is in the Gonzalo Lira notebook. I also included the video where he, the funeral of Gonzalo Lira. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Where did I put it? Here. El funeral de Gonzalo Lira. So right here, this video, it's the funeral of Gonzalo Lira, and you can hear Gonzalo Lira Sr. gave an eulogy. What do you call the last words about his son? So I'm going to ask Notebook LM. It said during Gonzalo's funeral, what were the biggest achievements noted by his father? So according to Gonzalo Lira, according to Gonzalo Lira Sr., his father, who was at his funeral, at Gonzalo Lira's funeral, remembering Gonzalo and telling everybody that he was proud because of the achievements that he has made, right? Let's see what are the achievements that Gonzalo Lira Sr. recognizes from his son. Now, mind you, remember, according to Gonzalo Lira, he was a successful writer, a successful director, a successful, dating coach, right? But according to his father, Gonzalo Lira Sr., the only big achievement that Gonzalo did was this one, being a YouTuber. Check this out.
During Gonzalo Lira's funeral in Santiago, his father, Gonzalo Lira Sr., identified his son's impactful online presence and his unwavering moral courage as his greatest achievements. He stated that his son had successfully found his destiny on the internet, where he amassed more than 360,000 subscribers and reached millions of viewers who followed his commentary on global current events. The father specifically highlighted Lira's work as a vocal critic of the war, noting that he had repudiated and revealed to the West the figures he held responsible for the conflict, namely President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Joe Biden. He emphasized that Lira had been exercising his right to free speech as a U.S. citizen, a right protected by the First Amendment. Ultimately, Lira Sr. expressed deep admiration for his son's valor in defending a universal principle of free expression, even at the cost of his freedom and life.
So yeah, as you can see right there, according to Gonzalo Lira Sr., the only success, the only achievement that Gonzalo Lira had under his belt was as an anti-Ukraine, anti-United States commentator on YouTube. That's the only success that Gonzalo Lira had. His books were not particularly successful. Let's see, for example, let's ask Notebook LM. How successful was Gonzalo's writing career? Yeah, let's see. So he was according to his father, the only success he had was being an online personality, because he was lying, which is the only good thing that he was good at, lying with a convincing tone of voice and sounded educated. So let's read this.
Gonzalo Lira's writing career was characterized by a massive, high-profile burst of traditional success in the late 1900s, followed by a move into script writing for video games and films, and eventually a shift into controversial online commentary. The million-dollar success. Lira achieved sudden fame in 1996 at age 28 when he signed a 2-book contract with Putnam for a $1 million advance. This was a historic sum for a young, unknown Chilean author in the U.S. market. Counterparts. His debut thriller, written in English, followed an FBI agent and a CIA bureaucrat attempting to protect a nun from an assassin. It was sold for translation into at least 7 languages. Critics noted his talent for action scenes and technical spy procedures. Acrobat 2002. His second novel also dealt with CIA intrigue. Even before its release, the film rights were sold to Miramax/Sidney Pollack for $600. Works in Chile. Prior to his U.S. success, Lira struggled to find a publisher for his Spanish-language work. Tama Harazure. Written when he was 22, this experimental novel about a Cuico, upper-class young man in Santiago, was initially rejected by all Chilean publishers. It was only published in Chile after his $1 million U.S. deal made him a phenomenon. Reception. Critics in Chile were divided. Some praised its naturalist and original use of Chilean phonetic slang, while others found it difficult to read, exhausting, and complacent. Screenwriting and video games. Lira described himself as a producer at heart and sought to transition into the film industry, though his Hollywood screenwriting was limited to correcting scripts that were never produced. Soldier of Fortune. Lira supported himself in New York by writing the script for this video game. The developers at Raven Software brought him in as a hot-selling writer to fix their story, though they eventually used only elements of his work rather than the full script. Sequestro, 2005. Lira wrote, directed, and produced this Chilean action film. Despite a record-breaking release in 40 theaters and a high-budget marketing campaign, it was considered a box office disappointment and received mixed reviews for being cold and lacking empathy. Transition to expert and blogger. By 2010, Lira had largely disappeared as a novelist and reinvented himself as an economic blogger and commentator. Economic blogging. He wrote for platforms like Business Insider, Zero Hedge, and Seeking Alpha. However, professional economists like Steve Keen, with whom he had a failed business venture, described him as an overpromiser and underdeliverer. Online presence. His later writing was primarily digital, reaching 360,000 subscribers on YouTube with war commentary. Some sources retrospectively labeled his earlier literary success as a failure because he did not sustain a career as a top-tier novelist. Lira's writing career followed the path of a comet. It began with a brilliant, highly remunerated flash that made him a literary celebrity, but it eventually fragmented into a series of smaller, more controversial orbits in different media industries.
So yeah, Gonzalo Lira only big achievement was becoming a war commentator, and he was mostly a Russian propagandist. So for him to be giving life advices and for people to listen to him for lessons to live a good life is mind-boggling, because it doesn't make sense. The guy knew how to talk, but he also talked a lot of shit, nothing but lies. And as you can see, when you compare Gonzalo Lira's actual life to the life that he claimed he had as Coach Red Pill, you can see that it's not 100% coherent. Gonzalo Lira was a liar, a professional talker. That was the only good thing he got going on for him. He fell alive by accumulating a lot of money, but he ended up dying because of his own mistakes and bad judgment, and he ended up leaving all that money behind. So what was the point? I was about to end the whatchamacallit. I was about to end the stream, but I forgot. I also uploaded the results of his the Freedom of Information Act. Okay, let's go to the Freedom of Information Act before I end the streaming, so we can hear what were the results. Let's see, for example, what were the findings on the Freedom of Information Act of Gonzalo dead. So, for those who might not know, a right-wing publication, I think it's called the Pounded. I mean, I have it right here. Hold on one second. The Pounded. I had it here somewhere, but let me see if I can find it somewhere else. A right-wing publication requested a Freedom of Information Act to reveal why did Gonzalo Lira die and why was not he released. And they found out that Gonzalo, the State Department, they were close to begin process to help Gonzalo Lira being transferred from Ukraine to America because he was sick. And also, the State Department received a lot of letters and emails from Gonzalo's supporters. And because they got overwhelmed by all these requests for intervention, they actually decided to move on and transfer Gonzalo from Ukraine to America. But Gonzalo died a couple of days before he could actually be transferred, which was nobody's fault but Gonzalo. the guy was smoking a pack of cigarettes a day for a whole year since the beginning of the war, on top of having a heart condition. So it was his own fault. There is no other way to go about it. Hold on once. I'm gonna see if I can find that. Well, this is let's see, Freedom of Information Act. Compelling guard. Coach Repi Gonzalo Lira. Okay, yeah, there it goes. Okay, hold on. So let's listen to what this says over here. Copy, paste. Let's see.
Freedom of Information Act FOIA requests filed by Judicial Watch and the Gateway Pundit resulted in the release of hundreds of heavily redacted documents from the U.S. State Department regarding Gonzalo Lira's detention and death. These findings suggest a pattern of administrative delay, internal dismissal of Lira's safety concerns, and a focus on spin control following his death. The smoking gun delayed humanitarian release. The most significant finding in the FOIA documents was a diplomatic note requesting Lira's humanitarian release, which was approved by the State Department in Washington, D.C. Late timing, despite Lira's arrest in May 2023 and repeated pleas from his family, this request was only initiated on January 4, 2023. Catalyst for action, analysts suggest the sudden turnaround in the State Department's willingness to intervene followed increased public pressure after Gonzalo Lira Sr. appeared on Tucker Carlson's program in December 20. Knowledge of health decline. The FOIA correspondence history reveals that the U.S. Embassy was aware of Lira's deteriorating health for weeks before he died. November 2023. On November 24, Lira's attorney called American Citizen Services, ACS, to report that Lira was having respiratory problems. December 2023, Lira himself raised issues regarding his illness and lack of infection during a December 6 virtual visit. By December 22, Lira's attorney informed the court he was suffering from double pneumonia. Dismissal of severity. Despite these reports, internal notes from December 22 stated that a prison doctor claimed Lira did not require hospitalization and would be well enough to attend his next hearing in person. Internal attitudes and no rush responses. The released emails show a dismissive attitude toward Lira by some embassy officials, dismissed as garbage. Following a virtual visit on December 6 where Lira was agitated and uncooperative and alleged he was being left to die, an unnamed embassy official characterized his statements as garbage. Lack of urgency. When discussing the nature of threats Lira reported against his life and the doxing of ACS officers, an official responded, "No need to answer now, no rush." Low priority. Internal emails from August 2023 indicated the embassy did not attach a high priority to Lira's case and referred to his attempt to seek asylum in Hungary as an attempt to abscond. Post-death spin control. Following Lira's death on January 11, 2024, the FOIA documents show the State Department focused immediately on managing the public narrative. Press guidance. By 8:45 a.m. the morning after his death, officials were seeking clearance on press guidance to specifically address the question, why didn't the U.S. government do more to assist Mr. Lira? Countering the Russian narrative. Internal communications urged a detailed pushback against any suggestion the embassy didn't do anything, labeling such claims as a Russian narrative and an attempt to make Lira a martyr. To understand the situation, one might compare the embassy's response to an insurance adjuster who ignores a homeowner's warnings about a leaking pipe for months, only to authorize emergency repairs once the house is already flooded, and then focuses their energy on explaining why the flood wasn't their fault.
Yeah, so as you can see, the State Department actually started doing stuff to get Gonzalo Lira out of Ukrainian prison. Now, here's one thing. Gonzalo Lira never requested assistance to the State Department after he was arrested for the first time, supposedly because he didn't trust the American government. But later you can see that Gonzalo Lira was about to be released by the American State Department because his followers sent them a lot of requests after watching him in the Tucker Carlson show on X. So that broadcast that Gonzalo Lira Sr. did with Tucker Carlson is what could have saved Gonzalo Lira's life. except that Gonzalo Lira, his health was horrible and ended up dying of pneumonia. And here you can, this is the place where you can read the whole Freedom of Information Act release. This is the Gateway Pundit. It's a right-wing publication. They are the ones who put in the Freedom of Information Act request, and they got those paperworks. These paperworks, I uploaded them to Node LM, and that's how we heard the results. But there's still a big influence on the right-wing narrative, accusing Gonzalo Lira Sr. of, accusing the government of not helping Gonzalo Lira fast enough and help him to get back to America. So you can trust and at the same time being hesitant to what is the Gateway Pundit publication is saying, because they are biased. They were anti Joe Biden, anti Democrats or left wing government. Right now, if you are interested, there are some people trying to get a formal autopsy on Gonzalo Lira. It's a pointless request that some people are making, but I mean, it only has like 1,000 signatures so far. It's just pathetic and sad. But oh well. Yeah. So I'm going to. It's been 2 hours already, this stream, and so we're gonna end it right here. Obviously, the Mara the Internet video is full of inaccuracies at the beginning, but there are some other stuff at the end which is not that wrong, not that incorrect. There is a part where where they say that what is the last part of the let's see, it's over here somewhere. The letter that Gonzalo Lira sent to his sister, because he was still estranged from his father. He was estranged to his father, the man who was actually trying to doing stuff to help him out, Gonzalo Lira Sr. When Gonzalo Lira was asking for help, he asked everybody but his father. And at the end, his father is the one who actually was doing things to get him out. By his father doing that interview with Tucker Carlson, as I already said, that was the way Gonzalo could have been freed. But he acted too late. He acted too late because Gonzalo Lira didn't trust his father. He didn't trust the American government. And he was putting all his bets on the wrong places. I mean, he made some very bad decisions. And at this point in life, why are you going to listen to his videos when the guy never implemented the philosophy that he was promoting of using common sense and being a deep thinker, planning your life, things like that, when at the end he died out of his own wrong decisions. And right now, as everybody can have been seeing, the red pill community, the red pill movement is dying. Right now, Tatum, what's his name? The guy lost a fight. Andrew Tatum had a fight with another influencer, and he lost. It's so. What is the name of the other guy? Everybody's abandoning the red pill. The red pill community is falling apart right now. Gonzalo Lira influence in the internet is slowly disappearing. It's slowly dying. Once this generation moves on from the red pill movement, Gonzalo Lira is going to be forgotten completely. The only people who are going to be watching Gonzalo Lira videos is going to be, unfortunately, people from places like India, where they have a severe problem with men, what's it, with incel men. I don't know if you have seen those videos. Let me show you. We're done with Mr. Mara the internet. Half of the video was full of inaccuracies, but I want to show you something. Let's see, India, women's experience on India. I don't know if you've seen these videos of men causing women in India. Let me see. Women attacked in India, or let me see. There's a video of a young woman. Let me see. No, women, foreign women in India. Yeah, India is crazy. Reasons to where is it? Hold on, let me see. Truth about living in India in English. This is not safe. We didn't feel safe in all them. Oh, this one right here. I don't know if you guys seen this video. In case you guys don't know, this lady right here, she's just a tourist. She's not famous. She's just, vacationing in India, and she's walking on the streets, and all of a sudden, all these men, they just get around her. And this is not the only case. There's a bunch of videos like this one where women are just, trying to be normal in India, normal tourists, and men just gather around them and start accosting them. It's weird. Foreign women in India, yeah, you'll see a lot of these videos where women are just being, overwhelmed by men. It's weird. So right now, the only Gonzalo Lira videos that I have seen that are popular are usually videos translated into Indian, and they're being shown over there on Indian YouTube channels with translations, which is sad because we already see that there are some problems with men in India, and now on top of that, they're gonna be listening to Gonzalo Lira videos. Things are just gonna get worse. But oh well, I mean, that's out of our jurisdiction. We won't be able to help those guys out, unfortunately. But yeah, that's it pretty much. So I'm going to end the stream right here. Thank you guys for watching. This was a learning experience. For me, this is the second time I streamed, and I think the first time went better. This time, even though I was more prepared, I think I didn't do as well as the first time. I was a little bit more animated and better the first time, but oh well, yeah. So we're gonna end it right here. Thanks again for watching. It's been a while. I don't know if I'll make another Gonzalo Lira video. I don't think I have it in me. I think I'm done. Gonzalo Lira's memory is slowly fading away. Once this generation moves on from the red pill community, you won't know who Gonzalo Lira was. He was a failure. His impact in Western society will not be remembered. His books were not bestsellers at all. His movies tank. His attempt to shield for Russia and promote Russia as the country, the second strongest military force, who was supposed to take over Ukraine in 3 days, It's been more than 3 years, almost 4 years, and Russia is getting worse as time goes by. Yeah, they might be gaining some land, but they're trading land for resources that they're not able to sustain. Their economy is collapsing. They're way deep, too deep into the war. There's no way for them to win, and once they lose, Gonzalo Lira's videos are gonna look even worse. People are not people. Yeah, they're gonna forget Gonzalo Lira, and well, that's a good thing. Yep, I'm okay with that. I don't want to make any more Gonzalo Lira videos. But yeah, this was a good reason to stream, and thank you again for everybody for watching. Let's see. Hold on. Somebody put something on the. Let's see. He has 3,255 members still in Patreon. Yeah, and that money is going nowhere. If you think about it, who's picking up that money? Who's picking up Gonzalo Lira's Patreon? I don't think it's his ex-wife. His ex-wife moved to the east of Ukraine at the beginning of the war, and I don't think she does. I don't think she doesn't. I don't think she wants anything to do with him anymore. She hasn't appeared in any newspaper publications. I don't think anybody has approached her for an interview. We don't even know what she looks like. Some people claim that she was 22 when she married Gonzalo when he was in his 40s. So I think maybe if she's lucky, she already married somebody else, a Ukrainian man, and help her raise her children. Hopefully they will never learn about their father, who was a Russian sympathizer, who was cheering for the same country that is still up to this day dropping bombs and killing innocent people. How can you how can you worry about about Gonzalo Lira's children when he was cheering for Russia, who are committing war crimes on a daily basis? It's just it breaks my brain every time I try to make sense out of the craziness. But oh well, yeah. So thank you again for watching. This was my second attempt streaming, and we'll see how it goes from now on. I don't know where the direction of my channel is gonna go. I've been thinking about doing some political news, but politics is crazy right now. 2026 is gonna be a very, very eventful year. The midterms elections are coming up. The Republicans are gonna lose a lot of seats. Trump is gonna go crazy trying to fight back the Democrats once they regain control of the House or maybe the Senate too. So I don't know if politics is the right thing to follow in this channel, but that's all I'm watching right now. Political content. I cannot take away. I cannot stop watching political content, and any idea that I have about making content for this channel is nothing but politics. But oh well, okay. So I'll leave it at that. I'll end the stream right now. Thank you again for watching. This is Fox Hunter. Thanks again for your patience. You guys take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.